Hi friends, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now. Click the bell icon next to it and select All to ensure you don't miss any of my latest videos. The Sahara Desert is a desert in its name, right? But now, if you look at the Sahara Desert from space, the percentage of desert in it will be slightly reduced. That is, where the barren wasteland should be seen in the middle, we can see some dry lands. Not only that, in some places, some lakes are seen, some rivers are seen. Especially in the areas of Morocco and Algeria, if we look, there are more lakes and rivers in those areas. The reason for that is that in September 2024, there was very heavy rain in that area. Due to this, lakes have formed in that area. They are not vias, they are real lakes. Do you know what we understand from this? The Sahara Desert is going to factory reset, that is, it is going to go to its first stage. I don't know if you will believe it or not, a few million years ago the Sahara Desert, one of the largest deserts on Earth, was not a desert at all. It was a green paradise. The entire dense forest, which was as dense as the Amazon rainforest, was filled with greenery. Let's first find out how the Sahara actually became a desert. Basically, it all started during the last ice age. At that time, the Earth was very, very cold. The entire Earth was covered with ice sheets. At that time, the Sahara Desert was much larger than it is now and was completely filled with greenery. There were more tropical forests on Earth at that time. However, those cooler temperatures completely changed the way rain falls. Basically, how does rain fall in these tropical regions? When warm air rises from the land of that region, rain is automatically created from it. But in the meantime, everything has cooled down. So, from the original land, the warm air did not come out, so there was no real rain in that area. Very, very little rainfall was recorded, so some areas became dry and desert-like conditions were created. This basically happens anywhere, not just here. At that time, a very large amount of dust came to this Sahara region. Where did it all come from? It came from the old ocean sediments nearby. But 12,500 years ago, another surprising thing happened. That is, the dust levels there decreased to a large extent, which means that the Sahara became a little wet again. So it makes sense that the climate suddenly changed again, right? And suddenly the whole area warmed up. But at that time, the reason why the Sahara turned green like that was a weather pattern. The name of that weather pattern is the Intertropical Convergence Zone. You can see that this is due to the movement of the Earth towards the north in the summertime. A wet period was created in that region. So there was a lot of rain in that region. For 4,000 years, there was a lot of rain in that region and the temperatures also started to be a little higher than normal, and due to that, the rain fell even more, especially in Ethiopia. The highlands region received more water, which caused the Nile River to receive a lot of water at that time. However, another major climate change occurred at that time, called the Hirach event. Due to this, the intertropical zone moved south again, which caused the Sahara and Arabian regions to completely dry up. As a result, the actual flooding of the Nile River during that time was very, very low. Between 2700 BC and 2100 BC, we don't see a single flood in that area. After that, climate changes occurred again. Climate changes continue to occur. So the Sahara went into a wet cycle, then into a dry cycle, then into a wet cycle, then into a dry cycle. So, due to climate and weather pattern changes, that too lasted for thousands of years. Due to the changes that have taken place, the Sahara region, which used to be a beautiful forest, has turned into a desert. But in September 2024, an annual cyclone hit that region. It hit areas like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. Due to this, lakes and rivers in that region have become extremely full of water. If we look at NASA's satellite images before and after, the water in that region looks like a pond. From the satellite, we think that there is a river there. Those who have seen it recently, but everyone knows that there was nothing like that in that region before. But do you know how much rain fell in that region? 8 inches of rain fell in a few hours. Basically, Sahel gets 40 inches of rain every year. So, if this is not 5 times more rainfall, then Sahel gets that much rain in an entire year. And why are we talking about Sahel? Everyone recognizes it as the area that receives the most rain. So, the most if it rains 40 inches a year in the same place, then 8 inches of rain fell here in just a few hours. That's how much rain fell there. So what's more, all the previously dry lands in that area have become wet. The whole area has been filled with water. There are many mountain lakes. There is a lake called Sabkha al-Mela in northern Algeria. That lake has recently expanded and spread to an area of 70 square miles. And not only that, it is also 7 feet deep. That means that the people living around that area have had enough water to sustain themselves for a year. And not only that, many lakes have filled up. Basins have filled up. Basically, all of them were very, very dry before. They would have taken many years to fill up because there was no rain there. So it's impossible for water to actually get into them. In a place like that, all of those lakes have filled up completely. That's a really, really big deal. But for some people, a question arose: how are these lakes actually located in that area? Basically, there is not much rainfall in that area, so how did the lakes form there? Actually, there is a lot of excess water there. That excess water sometimes gets trapped in small holes. Then, as the water volume increases, the size of the lakes also increases automatically. However, some people have a doubt. Basically, the entire area is a desert. When it rains in that area, why does it go into the lakes instead of going inside? You may have a doubt. It should act like a sponge. Should it also peel off all the moisture? Shouldn't water be on top? But I will tell you clearly. Basically, let's say we have a plant in our house and we haven't watered that plant for 3 days. Let's say we went to some village and didn't water it. But when we come back at that time and water it, the plant immediately absorbs some more water. We think that the plant is thirsty. We pour another cup of water, but it still absorbs it for a while. But if we pour another cup of water after that, it stays on top, but they do not go in. Eventually, even after everything inside is dry, that is, it can only take as much water as it can take. Similarly, this dry soil can also absorb some amount of water. The rest of the amount of water is also released outside. And all of it also reaches the lakes. So sometimes everyone uses them for drinking. And another reason is that there is another reason for water not being absorbed in that area. There is no vegetation there. Now if there is vegetation, that is, trees or shrubs, different plants, then water is absorbed in that area. The whole thing is sand. And it absorbs a lot. And there are some palm trees there. They are also not very big. They are somewhere even a kilometer apart. So what is meant by water is that it is not so easy to observe. So here, those water bodies are being created in very large numbers, and not only that, the water level in them is also very high, and they are also giving them some names. The local people there are also very surprised because they have never noticed that those lakes are filled to such a large extent. They feel that if there is a little water, it is a great blessing. When they see such a thing, the entire lake in that area is filled and the water comes out of it. They are very surprised. I am saying that in some areas, the rainfall that falls in an entire year has fallen here in a few hours of a day. Therefore, in some countries, almost all of their trees have been submerged. So in the last 30 to 50 years, such heavy rain has never been recorded in that area. And finally, now that rain has fallen. And there has been a drought in Morocco for 6 years in that area. And for them, this rain is very good. It helped. Basically, the people of Morocco have a lake called Lake Iriki. They have to take water from that lake. But it was always in a dry state. But now, most of it is water. If we observe since the year 2000, only 6 times have the necessary rain been given to those lakes. And it happened twice in recent times. So, what all this rains in September 2024 are telling us is that these rains are likely to continue like this. And there are going to be heavy rains in the desert areas as well. And after that, there is a possibility that the entire area will finally turn green again. This is something that we understand because scientists say that when humid air from near the equator meets hot dry air coming from the north, then there is more rain in that area from the Sahara Desert. So if this collision zone goes a little further north, then the planet will continue to warm up and the heat in that area will increase and the rains in that area will continue to increase. So this is what he is saying. So in the next 2 to 3 decades, it is not surprising to see floods in that area. This is the theory of scientists. So in the future, that area can definitely become green again. But the problem is that people there are not prepared for these floods and rains. Now, about 18 people died in that area due to the rains that came in September 2024. Now, if 8 rains fall in India, it will not be a big problem because we have that kind of rains a little bit regularly. But the Sahara is a desert area. So what do all the people there think? When will we get rains? So that is why they are not prepared at all. That is why many people have died due to those rains, and there is no chance that they will be prepared in the future. But one thing is happiness. That is, the whole area is becoming a forest again, but there is another sad thing scientists say, that is, many areas on this earth depend on deserts, especially the Amazon rainforest, which depends on the Sahara Desert. Actually, they say that these deserts are helping our earth a lot. They say that if deserts like the Sahara were not there, there would be many problems on earth. It may look like a barren wasteland to look at, but it is also changing every situation on earth. They say that it is playing a crucial role in our ecosystem. Basically, scientists say that there are two major uses for these. The first of them is that they act as major carbon storage sites. Basically, when the percentage of carbon on Earth decreases in different areas, then that percentage of carbon from deserts like the Sahara comes to the Earth, that is, to the areas where humans normally live, and that area is where it is stored. It maintains carbon, that is, it maintains its percentage. There is 1 trillion metric tons of carbon in the Sahara alone. It is constantly fighting against climate change. And another thing is that deserts like the Sahara help large forests grow thickly. Basically, they seem hot to look at now, but they are the aces that cool down the hot world. These deserts absorb all the heat and cool the whole world. And another thing is that they are also a source of nutrients for these forests. Tropical rainforests need sand particles from these types of deserts. In the Amazon rainforest, sand particles from the Sahara have also helped a lot. Scientists have said that the sand particles of the Sahara are as thick as the entire Atlantic Ocean. They have traveled and reached South America and enriched all that soil. If the soil of the Amazon basin was not like the Sahara, the Amazon rainforest would not be so wonderful and would have to face very serious issues. Their theory is that these are definitely needed. And at the same time, the people there also need some water, so if it comes to that, it is enough. Apart from that, the kind of situation where floods occur should not be repeated there again. Scientists want it. So that's it, guys. Do you think the Sahara will turn into a forest again? Tell us what you think in the comment section below.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.